Today, Saturday, the 22nd of February 2025, we have some hand-picked match predictions to share with you, which of course will be backed up by some stats and analytics to help you make your picks in this list to boost your winning by a greater percent. And to those of you who want to have access to our hand-picked events, which we share to members only, especially match predictions for goals, possibility, as well as corner kick events with huge odds to take your winning to the next height, then you want to make sure to subscribe to the Level 2 Pro membership package plan or the Level 3 Master Plan to have access to these features to take your winning to the next level. To those of you who want to join, the link is below this video. You want to make sure to navigate that link, subscribe as a member to have access to these features, and also having access to our top-notch match prediction tutorial classes, which we give to members only. For you to become a member, you want to make sure to subscribe. So that being said, let's proceed to the event of today. But before we proceed, we want to say congratulations based on yesterday's event for we all registered wins. I will first of all go ahead to share with you all the results of yesterday's event before proceeding to games of today. So let's proceed. So looking at yesterday's event, we had a total of 14 games we share with you. Of course, 13 of these games were successful. Huge congratulations. And of course, I'm going to share all the results with you. The first event, we looked at Australia in the NPL Northern NSW, Adamstown against Valentine, and we said that there will be the possibility of 1.5 and 2.5 going full time. It ended as 3 against 2. A total of 5 goals were scored, making it successful. Congratulations. In the next, we looked at NPL Queensland of Australia, where we looked at Gold Coast Knight against Queens Lion. We said that there will be the possibility of 1.5 and 2.5 goal, ended as 4, successful. Congratulations. In the next, we looked at Australia in the Victoria Premier League, where we looked at Brunswick City against Western United. We said there will be the possibility of 1.5 and 2.5 going full time. It ended as 4, a total of 1.5 and 2.5 goals. It was successful, and congratulations. In the next, we looked at Europe in the U19 women qualification, Northern Ireland U19 against Montenegro U19. We said the home will lead and also 1.5 and 2 goals over. It was successful. Congratulations. In the next, we look at Persian Gulf Pro League in Iran, Sepahan against Zobahan. We said there will be the possibility of at least 1.5 goals or 2 goals over. It ended as 4 against 1. A total of 5 goals were scored. Successful. In the next, we looked at Israel in the Liga, that is Lumit League, Hapiot Tel Aviv against HAKO. We said there will be the possibility of the home to lead as well as 1.5 goal in full time. Successful. In the next, we looked at Bulgaria in the Premier Liga, Levski Sofia against Sparta Varna. We said that the home will lead and also look at least 1.5 goal in full time. Successful. Congratulations. In the next, we looked at Kuwait in the Premier League, Al Kuwait against Al Salamia. We said that the home will lead and also said that there will be the possibility of 1.5 and 2.5 going full time. It was successful. Congratulations. In the next, we looked at Saudi Arabia Pro League, Al Nas against Al Jihad. We looked at least 1.5 for 2 goals over. It ended as 5 goals. Successful. In the next, we looked at Sweden Cup, Kelbeck against Geyas. At least 1.5 going full time. Successful. In the next, we looked at Belgium in the Challenge Pro League, Warajem against Genk. We said that the home will lead and also look at the possibility of 1.5 and 2.5 going full time. Successful. In the next, we looked at UEFA National League women, Portugal women against England women, at least 1.5 going full time, 1 against 1. Successful. The next, we looked at Wales in the Premier League, Bala and the New Saints. We said that there will be the possibility of at least 1.5 going or 2 goals over. It ended as 2 goals with away team leading, making 1.5 goals successful and the away to also lead successful. The only event here where we had a shortage of goal was a match in the Premier League of Kuwait, Yarmouk against Al Arabi. We said that the away Al Arabi will lead. It was successful, but in terms of 1.5 goal, we had a shortage of 1 goal. And out of all of these events, we have huge success. Congratulations to you all. And now let's proceed to the event of today. And now let's proceed to games of today. Before we proceed, I have a quick announcement to make. If you come here to the front page of our channel here, you're going to notice that we provide match predictions to to members only. In terms of goal match prediction picks, corner kick events, and also we provide game predictions strategy, which we give to members only. You can see we provide match prediction in terms of corner kicks, straight wins, big league events like Champions League, Europa League, the Conference League, Bundesliga, Premier League, and other big league events. So for you to join as a member, you want to make sure that you also join to have access to these features to take your winning to the next height. The link is below this video. Also, if you join to become a member, if, for example, you are a member of the Level 2 Pro plan, you have access to Level 2 Pro classes as well, which means that you also be having access to our handpick event, and you also have access to top-notch Level 2 Pro classes, which will give you access to the live match corner kick strategy we have explained step by step. You also have access to a simple trick to make consistent winning. Also, never seen soccer match prediction strategy, which we have explained step by step. You also see a straight win and comeback strategy for you to use at your advantage. A straight win, tactical, and over 2.5 goal strategy you can use, and as well as 99% win rate strategy to make even more wins. And once you become a member of Level 2 Pro plan, you have access to all Level 2 Pro classes, and you can watch all of these video tutorials in one place to start to take your winning to the next height. But if you become a member of the Level 3 Master, you're going to have access to the Level 3 Master classes that will give you access to even more top-notch tutorial classes like the top secret AI tool we use to find games in terms of straight wins and goals probability. You also have access to the Game Changer corner kick prediction strategy that reveals the top secret website we use for corner kick match predictions and picks. You also have access to AI tools we use, the home and away match prediction strategy being explained step by step, followed by 2.5 goal match prediction strategy to beat the bookies and win even more. So you become a member of this Level 3 Master, you have access to all of these tutorials in one place. The link will also be placed below this video. So that once you subscribe as a member of the Level 3 Master plan or Level 2 Pro plan, just sit back, watch all of the various videos tutorial for the levels, and start to stake your winning to the next level. So also, as a quick reminder, if you come here to the channel of our channel here and visit this area that says videos, you're going to notice that we also provide match prediction strategy for free. There are some video tutorials which you can watch in this section titled as the video section. Once you go to that area, you're going to see the videos, tutorials which we have shared. And if you go across here, we have some few which we recommend for you to watch and also take advantage of the strategy we have shared in those tutorials. The first I want to actually recommend is the top 5 soccer prediction apps being compared, which we have made a video tutorial on how to use some of the soccer prediction apps, some of the features to take advantage of it and start to make consistent win as well. Also, we have another tutorial for free, which we have titled it as the Expert Soccer Prediction Strategy. Let me try to scroll across this page and share with you exactly that particular video tutorial. And if you scroll across this page, you're going to see another one which we have mentioned, which we titled it here below as Expert Tips for Picking Winning Soccer Games. You can see this is the video tutorial. We have shared some tips for you to find some games which you can include in your sleep. Also, there is another strategy we recommend. That is 5 hidden Sofascore tips to win more bet. Of course, here we have explained some of the hidden features of Sofascore, which you can use to find games and make more picks in terms of winning bet slips. Here, if you watch this video tutorial to the end, you will learn all the strategy we have explained. And those are some of the free video tutorials you can watch and also take advantage of what we have shared. So that being said, let's look at the first game of our today's list. Looking at the first event, we are looking at England in the Premier League, a match between Arsenal against West Ham United. For this particular event, of course, looking at the performance of Arsenal in terms of the recent games they have had, the performance of Arsenal has been very, very great. Having games in the Premier League itself against Man City where they had a lead 5-1, Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League, as you can see here, 3-0. The performance of Arsenal recently have been very, very great and offensive. Its opponent, on the other hand, West Ham, have proved not to be very good in terms of offense, but the defensive line is not very tightened, conceding goals, 2-1, 2, and even 4 conceded goals. And now what we want to look at is this particular game played where West Ham had a game against Man City and really started 4-1 loss. This same Man City has just recently had a game against Arsenal, but Arsenal beat it up to 5-1 to tell us that Arsenal have more strength more than West Ham, because if Arsenal could beat Man City 5-1, but this Man City is able to beat West Ham 4-1, then there is still the possibility of Arsenal to beat West Ham and also the possibility of goals. Now, looking at the stand performance in terms of recent event they've had by the form comparison in terms of the recent performance, Arsenal, the home team, have proved that they have a good stance. Sitting on the third place, they have scored 10 goals in 5 games played in the Premier League, conceding 4. But the opponent, West Ham, on the other hand, have proved that in terms of the defensive line, their defense is not very tightened, and looking at everything in place, want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the home team, Arsenal, have proved to be very offensive. They have recently had game against Man City, beating it up to 5-1. But Man City was not able to have, that is, the away team was not able to beat Man City. Instead, Man City beat the away team in recent event they have had to prove that the home team is more stronger. Therefore, looking even at the stance performance in terms of offense and defense, the home team is better in terms of all the calculations. And looking at this, want to look at the home team, Arsenal, to lead this match in full time as one of the major pick. Also want to look at least the probability of goals. 1.5 goal in full time or 2 goals over. These are our major pick for this particular event. 1, the home to lead. 2, at least 1.5 goal in full time or 2 goals over. Looking at the next, we looked at Germany in the Bundesliga. Holstein against Bayer Leverkusen. Looking at the performance of Holstein in recent event they have had, the proof that they score at least 2 goals, 4 goals and 5 goals in each event. Of course, the performance recently have proved to be great, having a game recently with a great offense. Bayer Leverkusen also, on the other hand, have proved to score at least between 1 to 2 goals and even 3 goals in each event. This time they are coming to meet, and looking at the stance in terms of recent event they have had by the form, the home team Holstein have proved that here they sit in the 10th position with a good average goal score rate, scoring 12 goals in 5 games played and conceding 10. They have a good offense and the defense is not very tight. If you look also that of its opponent, on the other hand, by Leverkusen, they prove that they are good also at offense and the defense is not very tight. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, both of the 2 sides are great in terms of offense. And the fact that the defensive line of both sides are not very tightened, there will be shoot on and off target that will be increased since the offense of both sides are good. And since the defensive line is not very tight, we look at goals probability. Therefore, at least 1.5 goal in full time or 2 goals over is our major pick for this particular event due to the not tightened stance in terms of defense. So these are our 2 major pick. 1, 1.5 goal in full time. 2, 2 goals over. Looking at the next, we looked at Portugal in the Liga Portugal. That is Portugal Premier League. We look at Benfica against Boavista. In this event, the recent performance of Benfica recently have proved to be very offensive, scoring 3 goals, 4 goals, and even up to 4 goals as well in each event. They have recently had games, especially in the Champions League against Monaco. You can see scoring a very high number of goals, and also recently against Barcelona, scoring also a very high number of goals. Its opponent, on the other hand, Boavista, have proved to concede very much. The defensive line is not very good. And looking at the stand performance in terms of recent events they have had, Benfica, the home, have proved that they are very offensive, scoring up to 34 goals in just 11 games played, prove that the offensive strength of Benfica is very high. Its opponent, on the other hand, have proved that the defensive line is not very great, conceding up to 19 goals in 11 games played with 10 scored goals, prove that the defensive line of Boavista is not good. And looking at everything in place, we look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, the performance of Benfica recently have proved to be very amazing with very high offensive power. The defensive line of Boavista, on the other hand, is not very strong. And the fact that the home team score a very high number of goals in each game played with an average goal score rate of about 3 to 4 goals in each event played, of course, we looked at Benfica to take the upper hand here to lead in full time as one of the major pick. Also, we want to look at least the possibility of 1.5 goal to occur in this match in full time, as well as 2.5 goals in full time. So we're looking at 3 major picks. 1, Benfica to lead. 2, at least 1.5 goal in full time. 3, 2.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at Netherlands in the Eredivisie. We are looking at Feyenoord against Almere City. For this event, the performance of Feyenoord recently have proved to be very amazing, especially in the Champions League and also in the Eredivisie. And again, in the Champions League, Bayern Munich, that is against Bayern Munich, where they lead. The offensive strength of Feyenoord recently have proved to be very amazing. But Almere City, on the other hand, of course, proved that the offensive line is not as good as that of Feyenoord. Comparing the strength in terms of recent gameplay they have had by the form of this particular tournament, of course, Feyenoord, the home, have proved that they have more offense as compared to Almere City. Scoring 13 goals in 5 events proved that they have good offense, with a defense that is good, conceding only 5 goals. And looking at that of its opponent, on the other hand, you're going to see that Almere City, on the other hand, the defensive line of Almere is not as tightened as compared to that of the home. They conceded 6 goals in just 5 games played. And looking at this, we'll look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the home team Feyenoord have proved to be amazing in recent events they have had. Also in the Champions League, they have proved this to show that they are very good in offense. But its opponent, the other hand, of course, have proved that the defensive line is not very tightened. And as a result, we want to look at Feyenoord, the home, to take advantage of the weak defense of the away to lead in full time as one of the major pick. And also want to look at the possibility of at least 1.5 goal in full time. Therefore, we are looking at 2 major picks. 1, Feyenoord to lead. 2, at least 1.5 goal to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next pick, we looked at Germany in the Regional Liga West, a match between Oberhausen against Turkspor Dortmund. For this event, the home team have proved that they do score at least between 1 to 3 goals in each game. Its opponent, on the other hand, have proved to be very conceding with a very weak defensive lineup, and they are very poor in terms of recent form. Looking at the stand comparison in terms of recent events they have had by the form, the home game or home team have proved that they sit on a better place. They lead this table. Standing on the first position here, they have scored 11 goals in 5 games played. That's a good offense, and the defense is average. That of its opponent, on the other hand, in terms of the defensive line, have proved that the defense is not very tightened. As you can see here, conceding up to 13 goals in 5 games play. And looking at this, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the home have proved to have good offense. But the defense of its opponent, the away team, have proved that the defensive line is very weak with a very high conceding probability. As a result, since the away have a weak defense and the home is better in form, we look at the possibility of at least 1.5 goal to occur in this match in full time due to the weak defense of the away, which also the away want to impress. So look at goals probability, 1.5 goals in full time. In the next, we looked at Germany in the Regional Liga Southwest, a match between Stutt Kickers against Giessen. For this event, Stutt Kickers have proved to be good in terms of offensive line, scoring 4, 3, 1 goals in each event. Its opponent Giessen, on the other hand, is also a very good offensive team, scoring a large number of goals based on recent events they have had. That's both sides are good in terms of offense. And looking at the stand performance in terms of the form recently, the home team, Stutt Kickers, have proved that here they sit on 11th position, 7 goals scored in 5 events. That is an average offense, and the defense is not very tight. That of Giessen, on the other hand, have proved that they sit here with also an average goal score rate, which is at least average as well, with defense that is not very tight. Both of the two sides are better in offense, and the defense is not very tight. So look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, both of the two sides are not very tight in defense. They want to impress by seeing every way possible to see who to lead. As a result, shoot off and on target will be increased. Therefore, want to look at least 1.5 goal in this event in full time. Looking at the next, we'll look at Greece in the Super League 2. That is Kifisia against PAE Egaleo. In this event, the home Kifisia have proved to have more offense comparing to that of its opponent Egaleo. The performance of the home have proved it. They score a large number of goals. And that of its opponent, on the other hand, PAE Egaleo, have proved that the defensive line is weak. They concede too much of goals recently. Also, you can see that this PAE Chania had a game with the away. They had a loss 3-0. This same PAE Chania have also had game with the home team Kifisia, and the lead, as you can see, PAE Chania, they lead it by 2-1. If PAE Chania is able to beat the away up to 3-0, but the home is able to beat it, then of course they see the possibility of Kifisia to beat the away. Looking at this, they recently had head-to-head, and of course Kifisia played at home in lead by 4-0. This time it is coming home and they still have more offense and the probability to win. And looking at the stands performance in terms of the recent event they have had, the home Kifisia have proved that here, as you can see, Kifisia in terms of the form have proved that they have not had any game yet. This is just starting tournament, and they have placed right at the last position, as you can see. And looking at the away in terms of the position they have put it in the first. And looking at this, we'll look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, this tournament is just starting, and the fact that the home Kifisia have proved to be very offensive in recent event they have had of course, they are coming to meet as the start for this tournament with a very high offensive strength of the home. And the last, that is the most recent head-to-head they just had, the home lead by 4-0. This time, this tournament is starting. This will also cost the away team the fact that they perform poorly to try to impress. As a result, both sides want to impress, causing shoot on and off target to be increased. As a result, goals probability is just the best option, since in the first head-to-head resulted to 4-0. We just look at 1.5 goal in full time as one of the major pick, and we also want to look at least 2 goals over. This is our major pick for this particular event. Looking at the next, we looked at Scotland in the Premiership, a match between Rangers against St Mirren. For this particular event, Rangers, the home team, have proved to be very offensive based on recent event they have had. More shoot off and on target, resulting to a lot of goals probability. Its opponent, St Mirren, also on the other hand, is the same. Recently, they also have a lot of goals on target, and of course, shooting was very high. And the stand performance of both sides in terms of the form of these two have proved that both of the two sides have good form recently. While in terms of the, that is, average form of both sides, you're going to see Rangers sit on the first position and the opponent on the 8th. Looking at this, they are coming to meet and want to look at 2 major picks in full time. For these particular events, both of the two sides recently have proved to have a very great offense. And since the home Rangers is proved to have a very, very high shoot on target, and of course the away also will try to impress, corner kick probability will occur. Shoot on and off target will be very high, resulting to blocks, causing deflection of the ball and causing corner kicks. So want to look at 6.5 corners in full time, 7.5 corners in full time, as well as 8.5 corner kicks for this particular event. Looking at the next, we look at Czech Republic in the Fortuna Liga, a match between Sparta Prague against Ceske Budějovice. In this event, Sparta Prague have proved to be very offensive, scoring 3 goals in each event. Recently, the offensive strength is very high, but that of Ceske, on the other hand, concede a lot of goals. And they have proved that the defensive strength is not very good. Looking at one of the event comparison, Ceske had a game with Jablonec, have 5-0 loss. But this same Jablonec also had a game with Sparta Prague. As you can see, Jablonec and Sparta Prague was able to beat it 2-1 to prove that Sparta Prague have more offense than Ceske. And looking at the stands in terms of recent event they have had recently, the form of Sparta Prague have proved that they are very good in the table line, having 11 goals in 5 games played with 3 conceded goals, prove that they have a very high offense and good defense. But that of its opponent, Ceske Budějovice, on the other hand, have proved that the defensive line is very weak, conceding up to 18 goals in just 5 games played. And looking at everything in place, we'll look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, Sparta Prague have proved to be very offensive in terms of recent event they have had. And the fact that the offensive line recently is very great, and they have had a game against Jablonec where they beat it 5-0, but Jablonec was able to beat Ceske. This means that the offense of the home and form is better. Therefore, look at the home team to lead this match in full time as one of the major pick. We also want to look at the probability of goals, 1.5 goal in full time, as well as 2.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we look here in the Italy Serie A, Inter against Genoa. The recent performance of Inter have proved to be very offensive, scoring 3 goals in each event they have had in the Serie A of Italy. Of course, its opponent, on the other hand, Genoa, in terms of recent game played, have proved that the defensive line is not very tough. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks. But first, looking at the stands, we want to look at the stand comparison in terms of the form. Inter, the recent, that is the home team, have proved to have a very high offensive strength, scoring 12 goals in 5 games played and 5 conceded goals. That's a good offense with a good defense. Its opponent, Genoa, on the other hand, in terms of recent game played they have had, have proved that the defensive line is not very great and the offense is just also average. And looking at everything in place, we'll look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the home Inter have proved to have more offense. And the fact that the offensive line recently is good as compared to that of the away, we look at Inter, the home, to lead in full time as one of the major pick. We also want to look at least 1.5 goal to occur in this match in full time. Looking at the next, we look at Spain in the La Liga, a match between Las Palmas against Barcelona. For this particular event, the recent performance of Barcelona in the La Liga have proved to be very offensive. They had a game against Sevilla, they beat it 4-1. They also had games in the Champions League where their performance was amazing. But that of the home, Las Palmas, have proved that the defensive line is not good and the offense is also not good. Looking here at the recent head-to-head which they have had, Barcelona beat it 2-1. This time they are coming again to meet. And looking at the stand performance in terms of recent event they have had, the away team, Barcelona, in terms of the recent gameplay they have had at the away, have proved that they are very good in offense, scoring 14 goals in 5 games played, conceding 7. That's a good offense. an average defense, but that of the home Las Palmas have proved that in terms of the home game they've had, they are not very good at offense, and the defense is not also very tightened, conceding 6 goals in 5 games played and scoring 6. Looking at this, we want to look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, the way Barcelona have proved to have very great offense, and the fact that the home defense is not very tightened, we look at Barcelona to take advantage of the weak defense of the home to lead in full time as one of the major picks. We also want to look at least the possibility of 1.5 goal to occur in full time, since the offensive line of Barcelona is very high and the defense of the home is not good. So 2 major picks here. 1, Barcelona to lead. 2, at least 1.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at Hong Kong in the Premier League, Le Mans Warriors against Hong Kong FC. The home team, Le Mans, have proved to be very offensive, scoring 3-4 goals in each event recently. Hong Kong, on the other hand, is a very weak defensive team with a lineup that is not good at defense. And they recently had a game where Le Mans beat it 3-1. This time, Le Mans still have a very good form, and they are coming again to meet. Looking at the stands performance in terms of recent gameplay they've had, the form have proved that for Le Mans, they are very good in terms of form. Sitting on the 2nd place and scoring 15 goals in 5 games played have proved that the offense is very great and the defense, that is also good. But that of its opponent, on the other hand, have proved that in terms of the recent gameplay they have had, the defensive line is very weak and they have not had any win based on recent gameplay they have had at the away. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, the home team, Le Mans Warrior, have proved to be very offensive. And since the defense of the away is very weak, with a very weak lineup, of course, we look at the home to take advantage of the weak defense of the away to lead in full time as one of the major picks. We also want to look at the fact that since the defensive line of the away is very poor and the attacking power of the home is strengthened, we look also at the probability of 1.5 goal in full time as the next pick, as well as 2.5 goals in full time. And to those of you who want to have access to our handpick event, which we have just shared to members only, then of course you want to make sure that you access the level 2 membership package plan to become a member and start to have access to our handpick event to take your winning to the next level. You also have access to our top-notch bet class tutorials, which you can take advantage of it and start taking your winning to the next height. To those of you who want to join, the link is below this video. You want to make sure to click on it, navigate and join as a member and start to have access to these features to take your winning to the next level. Good luck and see you again in the next upload, and bye-bye for now.